Township Design Review Board meeting of Wednesday, February 21st, 2021. Let's first please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And attendance, please.
So noted.
Now, with our first order of business is we need to appoint a chair, as the regular chair is not present today. And
I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Clerk Brooke as the chair for today.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That motion carries. So our next order of business is public comment. Is there anybody here who has something to talk about these items other than the person who, they're appearing for? No. Okay, thank you. Next item is the approval of the minutes from February 7th, 2024. Any questions about those? I know you weren't here at that meeting, but...
I was not, but I will make a motion to approve the minutes.
Great. I was here. I support that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries as well. Okay, new items. Signs. 3919 Telegraph Road, Flag Star Bank.
The applicant has not arrived for that item yet, so if we'd like to maybe move it to the end of the agenda.
Actually, we
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. They must have snuck in. I apologize. Then I will go ahead and present this proposal.
Wonderful.
So what we have here, we have the existing Flag Star Bank, which is located at 3915 Telegraph Road. This property is zoned B3. And here is a overview, an aerial of the existing site. And you can see on the aerial that we have an existing monument sign, which is in this location. In case you haven't noticed, I know that I've noticed by driving around that Flag Star Bank is doing a rebranding, if you will. So the applicant is here today to ask to do a reface only of the existing sign. The sign is non-compliant in the sense where it doesn't have the 25-foot setback, as well as it's slightly higher than 5 feet, not quite a foot over, but about a half a foot over. So there is some non-compliance with it. However, within our ordinance, the Design Review Board can consider a reface of an existing non-conforming sign, as long as it's truly just a reface and they're going to reuse the base and do some painting. So with that, the sign is, as you see before you. I also do want to include that we do have a drawing, I'm sorry it's not included in this packet, that they do have some evergreen plantings that I would say would be requested and required to be installed at the base of the sign. And with that, I'm free to answer any questions, as well as I know we have the applicant, clearly, as well, that can answer any questions.
Any questions?
So, Andrea, the evergreen plantings, would that be something like low underneath like that gold bar?
Yes, yes, I actually had the
Because that part's kind of
graphic.
plain.
Yes.
I am familiar with the new logo. I'm a Flag Star person. So I saw this coming.
Do you know why they don't capitalize the F?
I do not. It's capitalized in the red logo.
Right?
I guess we want to know.
Oh, yeah,
So,
good question.
I don't know why.
We're asking.
I'm not,
I don't know why it's not
Do you
capitalized.
guys know why?
Do you know why it's not capitalized?
I'm just curious.
no idea. That's just the new design that they provided to us.
You want to join us up here, just at the podium? That way everyone can hear you, and we are broadcast as well.
Yeah, it goes on the record.
Thank you for having me here today.
that way.
My name is Adrian. I'm here on behalf of Priority.
Thank you.
We do partner up with Adjournment, as you can see the monogram on the lower left corner. The Flag Star logo, the design was provided to us by the Flag Star Corporation of the Bank Institute. So we really don't pick how or why the design is made that way. We're charged with the actual installation in the field.
Great, okay. And any issue with putting, I see there's a picture with the evergreen plantings. And
Oh, nice. Okay, that helps.
Yeah, there would be no issue with the refacing. We would just, if we go back to the previous illustration, it would just be the painting of the existing monument to match the yellow stripes on the side, and then the yellow reveal towards the bottom of the base with the vegetation obviously planted as required. And then just new flat faces would go onto the existing monument that's on site.
Great, great. I was there just this morning, taking a look at it. It'll look much nicer, actually, I think.
Yeah, I agree, although, like you said, the sign was bigger because of the time it was originally done. The red, which I'm very familiar with and never bothered me in the past, but the new one actually kind of blends in a little better, looks, I don't know, I like it, and I think the evergreen plantings help tremendously.
Thank you.
Would you like to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion that we approve the new signage for Flagstar, the replacement signage of the existing signage, with evergreen plantings as noted.
Support. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries 2-0.
Okay, the next item that we have is for a commercial site that we have located on Maple Road. It's the shopping center, let me go to the map here. It is the shopping center, which is located on the west side of Telegraph, and this is Maple Road here. So on the north side of Maple, there is a Jet's Pizza, there's a nail salon, and I apologize, I'm losing who the third tenant is, maybe a Hungry House? No, it wouldn't be Hungry House and Jets.
There's a vet clinic to force further.
Dog groomer, I should know that because that's a relatively new tenant. So what we have before you today is the property is zoned at B1, it's a business classification. The applicant is seeking approval from the Design Review Board to install a generator. So this is Maple Road up in this location. This is the building in which we're talking about. It abuts a parking lot immediately to the west. We're talking about the location of a ground-mounted mechanical in the rear of the building, and that it will have vegetative screening provided by the applicant. And I do also have an overhead example of the location of where they're looking to place this. So you'll see that there is an ability to add some additional vegetative screening as well. This is the proposed location. You can see the blue marking on the ground indicates the location of the proposed generator. Again, it'll be located in a rear yard, and really it's recessed down. So with the addition of the evergreen screening, and the evergreen screening should be the height of the unit at the time of installation, it should be screened from public view. And this does comply with the provisions of our new ordinance amendment, which requires for ground-mounted mechanicals to be located in a rear yard if the side yard is less than 20, and that it is immediately adjacent to the building. So everything does comply here. It just would be your review and approval. And with that, I know we have a representative here as well to answer any questions.
The only question I have, I think the location is good. You don't, I see the gate there. It would not be in front of the gate, which would be important. But I guess, is there any concern about the sound to the adjacent neighbors?
Well, they measure 25 feet from the unit itself to comply with our decibel readings. So based on the location, 25 feet from there would not, there's a parking lot in the exterior of a building.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
had it, I was like, okay. All right, I'm good then. Thank you.
I have no questions either.
Wow.
I order pizza there often, so when the power goes out especially.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and it's very important. Generators are just,
Do you
yeah.
wanna make a motion?
So, yes, I would like to make a motion that we approve the new generator located in the back of the unit at 4082 Maple Road.
Support? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The motion carries 2-0. Next up, item number 2 for site improvements, 1050 Square Lake Road, the meeting room, or as it relates to mechanicals and a roof change.
Sure. So what we have before you today, we were approached by the applicants for the meeting room, which was approved, as you may recall, some of you you're newer, but this was approved back in 2019, a place of worship to be located on the same site as the Sterling Academy School. And the applicant had come to us a couple months ago to talk about some minor changes in nature to the site. And so I just want to walk through some of those changes. And then I'm also going to give an opportunity for the applicant's architect as well as members of the congregation if they'd like to answer any questions as well. So within your letter packet, I did include a letter that was from the architect, Mr. Mosif, going over, highlighting what the changes were. And so I'm just going to kind of walk through what those changes were. So some of them are very minor in nature, so the letter is pretty, we wanted to make sure that we understood every single potential change that was occurring on the site to make sure that there was no negative impacts or changes to what was originally approved. So the letter is very comprehensive, so I'm just going to touch on a few points. The building itself, the footprint actually shrunk slightly, so it was reduced in the width. The building is now at 15,007 square feet. When it was approved back in 2019, the building was 16,302. So by eliminating some of that covered area within the interior of the building, it modified in some of the design elements on the outside of the building. So in addition to the shrinking of the building slightly, there was a movement approximately about 6 feet that the building itself actually shifted slightly to the east. So when I say east, I'm going towards the international, west, I'm sorry.
Shifted west or east?
West.
Shifted west, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. You want to come up here and do this? So the building shifted, has moved to the west. So the building is still further from the west property line than before. So that's another element to point out as well, that it was slightly shifted about 6 feet away from the residence. Additionally, we wanted to make sure that there were not, because there is the addition of an outdoor mechanical area, which is seen as I'm circling on the site plan in this area. They have also added the ground mounted mechanical location. And because of some minor changes to some of the islands in this area, we did have it re-reviewed by our fire marshal. I do have a letter indicating that our fire marshal is satisfied that there's no changes to circulation or access within this area because, as we can see here, the curb and then over to the natural feature setback, that was a very sensitive area that we had to really make sure that he had proper access and turn movements. So that was also another change. From the exterior, well, this is the interior floor. Okay, so this is very similar to the original model that was approved, the original floor plan. Again, this is slightly smaller. There is the location of this mechanical area, if you will, along the rear of the building. And another change that they made is originally with the original site plan, they did have an overhead door. It's highlighted here in the blue here down on the corner. It was originally located on the east side of the building, west side of the building.
Now it's on the east side.
So with that, they've relocated it. It was originally located here. They have shifted it down to this area to be closer to the ground mounted mechanical area. So the last element, and quite honestly, probably the only one that would draw any physical acknowledgement of a change, is the roof line itself. The roof line was originally a rounded, more of a rounded roof line.
Dome?
A dome. But now what they're opting for is a pitched roof, a gable roof, and it does still come in under the 30-foot height, which is the height. The highest maximum height within that zoning classification. So, but they are going about a 1.5 to 2 feet higher than the original plan. So they originally were at about 26. Now they're about 28. So they're still coming in under. They would be permitted to have that height by right. There's no variances associated with that. But that would probably, and we did have the architect as well draw up some renderings to kind of show you the pitch of the roof, the coloring of the gray roof, and the design of the new space. They did, as part of the removal of some square footage, there was originally an area along the, now I'm getting nervous.
West.
The west side of the property that has since been drawn back and moved, so there's what was originally not fully open from front to rear has now opened and is now that covered area that people can use as a walkway.
And these depict the revised roof line, right?
Correct,
And the okay.
correct, yes.
Yeah, no longer a dome. No, I
Or
like it.
more of an arch, kind of curved.
And then this is the ground mounted mechanical area that I spoke of in the rear yard. And then I also want to note that the, actually, technically that's a side yard, but it would be permitted because it's a 20-foot wide side yard. And then I just want to make note that there's roof mounted mechanicals. Those have always been proposed, just to have you understand that this is from a higher angle view, like more of a bird's eye view, that there will not be any visibility to any roof mounted mechanicals in this area. So I just wanted to point out, that was part of the original approval, but I just want to point out, when you look at this graphic, that they will have to be screened from public view. With that, I do want to acknowledge that the applicant did resubmit a landscape plan because there were some additional shrubs that were added to the site. And so we wanted to make sure and verify that we have everything as is and keeping us on track, that we did not lose or change anything that was with the original approval. I do have a letter from Michael J. Dool, our township landscape architect, that does in fact sign off and approve the landscaping as it is, and that nothing has been changed or omitted from the plan. And then we also did have an opportunity to share these plans with our engineering and environmental services, and they have also noted that they have no issues with the proposal as submitted. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions, and we also have the team here as well to answer any questions.
Thank you. That was a very good presentation. You really covered everything. It sounds like all of our departments are okay with all the changes. You already answered my first question, which was when you start showing things kind of getting closer to the water area. I was going to say,
Sure.
what about the fire department? You guys covered that. I actually like the look of the new roof, I think, better aesthetically. And I really don't think I have any other questions or issues with it.
Does the petitioner want to add anything to the presentation at all? If you do, please
Why don't
join
you-
us in the mic.
you
If
wanna-
not, I mean,
Maybe come up and explain what the driving factors were in the changes?
Well, the driving factor was to reduce cost. The sloped roof rather than the curved roof, reduced cost, reducing the size on the west of the building.
right?
Everything outside of the platform that the building sits on is unchanged from before. Because of the various changes, we have a little more green space than we had before. I think it's an improvement. The building's not very visible from the street. I think I'm done.
Great, thank you. I actually don't have any other questions either. It sounds as though it's been thoroughly reviewed by all the departments. The changes appear to me to be very minor. I appreciate the petitioner's thorough communications with department and keeping us up to speed. And we got our east-west straightened away. This is good. So the one question I did have, which was about the garage door, but I can actually see on here that it's a garage, that the overhead door goes into a garage, which makes sense. So I agree that the changes are minor, and I'm willing to entertain a motion.
I agree the changes are minor. In some places, the slightly smaller footprint, a little more green space, a little more shrubbery. I like the roof line. I think they're all nice, some nice fine-tuning tweaks, and I think actually it's better, and I appreciate all the detail. So with that, I would make a motion that we approve the changes to the 1050 Square Lake Meeting Room mechanicals and roof change and landscape
As presented.
as presented.
Great. I support that. All those in favor? Aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Any journal business
I have nothing to add.
items? Nothing to add? Okay, great. Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Usually I do that, but
I will make a motion that we adjourn the Design Review Board.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.